A pretty good list, considering it's our last list, and the category, Top 10 Things I've Always Wanted to Say.
The 7 Guess. Made David Letterman forget Equator, Manamon. Forget Equator is on TV. David Letterman dominated late-night television for 33 years. Think about that. 3 decades of delivering monologues, conducting interviews, and sitting behind that desk while the world changed around him. He could turn awkward silence into comedy gold. He could make mundane topics fascinating. He could keep millions watching with that gap-toothed grin and razor-sharp wit that cut through Hollywood phoniness like a knife through butter. The Late Show featured thousands of guests over the decades. A-listers, legends, rising stars, people who needed the exposure, and people who absolutely didn't. But every so often, a select few did something remarkable. They made Dave drop his ironic armor and show genuine warmth. With them, it didn't feel like calculated television anymore. It felt like 2 friends connecting in front of millions. The cynical shield came down. The real Letterman appeared. Today, we're counting down the 7 guests. Letterman loved more than anyone else. These weren't just entertaining interviews. These were relationships that revealed who Dave really was beneath the comedy. Let's begin. Number 7. Bill Murray. Bill Murray was the only person who could match Letterman's anarchic energy perfectly. He never followed protocol. He never stuck to planned segments. Murray showed up whenever he felt like it, sometimes without warning producers, sometimes without telling anyone he was even in the building. Dave absolutely loved that unpredictability. Their most famous moment came when Murray came through the window instead of the curtain. Just smashed through like the Kool-Aid man and sat down like nothing happened. Another time he started bartending during the show, making drinks for audience members while Dave tried to interview him. Dave's jaw would drop. Then he'd surrender completely to whatever chaos Murray brought. What made their chemistry work was Murray's complete understanding of Letterman's comedy DNA. He knew exactly how far to push before pulling back. He knew when to be chaos and when to be calm. Their playful antagonism masked deep mutual respect that went far beyond what audiences saw off camera. They became genuine friends who played golf together and discussed life beyond showbiz. Dave trusted Murray's instincts more than almost anyone. He would let segments run long, abandon planned topics, and just follow wherever Murray took things. That level of trust was something Letterman reserved for maybe 5 guests in his entire career. Murray earned it every single time. Number 6. Steve Martin. Steve Martin shared Letterman's appreciation for absurdist, cerebral humor that trusted audiences to get it. Both men understood that comedy didn't need to hit you over the head. It could be smart, sophisticated, and still devastatingly funny. Martin's transition from wild and crazy guy to serious artist fascinated Dave on a personal level. Here was someone who refused to be boxed in by early success. Most comedians find something that works and do it forever. Martin wrote novels, he collected art, he became a serious musician, he kept reinventing himself decade after decade. Dave watched that evolution with genuine admiration. Their conversations went beyond typical talk show promotion. They discussed philosophy, literature, and art collecting with the ease of old friends. Martin would bring his banjo and perform, and Dave genuinely appreciated the musicianship instead of treating it like a novelty. You could see Dave leaning in, completely engaged, asking real questions instead of setup lines. Martin had zero Hollywood pretense despite massive fame. He talked about failures and creative struggles with the same honesty he discussed successes. That authenticity resonated deeply with Letterman, who despised phoniness in any form. Martin treated interviews like actual conversations, not promotional obligations. When Martin appeared, Dave's whole demeanor shifted into something more thoughtful and engaged. Number 5. Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts was the only guest who consistently made the notoriously guarded Letterman visibly flustered. Think about that. A man who had interviewed presidents, legends, and the biggest stars on earth. A man who had seen everything and done it all. And Roberts could reduce him to a stammering teenager every single time. Their flirtatious banter became legendary television. Dave would get boyish and awkward around her in a way he never did with anyone else. He'd stumble over words. He'd forget his setup lines. He'd generally act like a nervous kid asking the popular girl to dance. The audience ate it up because it was completely real. Roberts treated Dave like a genuine friend instead of just another host. She brought him a birthday cake on air. She remembered personal details from previous conversations. She teased him mercilessly and loved watching him squirm. The chemistry between them was undeniable. Crew members said Dave behaved completely differently when Roberts was scheduled. What made their dynamic special was Roberts' ability to disarm Dave's cynicism. He couldn't maintain his ironic distance with her. She would laugh at his jokes with genuine delight, then turn around and make him the butt of her own humor. Dave loved every second of it. Their relationship showed Letterman's vulnerable side that rarely appeared on camera. Roberts could make Dave drop his host persona faster than anyone. That power made her irreplaceable in his world. Number 4. Regis Philbin. Regis Philbin made over 400 appearances on Letterman's shows. Let that number sink in. 400, more than any other guest in television history. Their mock feud became performance art that lasted decades, a running joke that never got old because both men understood exactly what they were doing. Regis would complain about everything: his dressing room, the interview questions, the coffee, the temperature, the audience, everything. Dave would pretend to be annoyed, rolling his eyes and sighing like Regis was the biggest inconvenience in his life. The audience knew it was all affectionate theater, and they loved every minute. Philbin's genuine enthusiasm contrasted perfectly with Dave's ironic detachment. Regis loved show business without shame or cynicism. He thought everything was wonderful, everyone was great, every show was the best show ever. Dave pretended to find this irritating, but was clearly delighted every single time. Their rhythm was perfected over hundreds of appearances. Regis would tee up complaints. Dave would land sarcastic responses. Pure comedy magic. Behind the scenes existed deep respect and real friendship. Regis understood Letterman's comedic persona completely and played into it perfectly. He never took offense at Dave's mock insults because he knew the game they were playing. That trust enabled both of them to push boundaries further than either could alone. When Regis passed away, Dave's tribute showed the true depth of feeling beneath their comedic sparring. He called Philbin one of the most naturally gifted broadcasters ever. The emotion in Dave's voice was unmistakable. Their relationship transcended typical host-guest dynamics into something genuinely meaningful and irreplaceable. Number 3. Charles Grodin. Charles Grodin perfected the angry guest character over decades of Letterman appearances. Their staged arguments were comedy masterclasses that required complete trust between both performers. This wasn't real hostility. This was performance art disguised as talk show conversation. Grodin would complain about everything. The lighting was too bright, the seat was uncomfortable, the questions were stupid, the segment was too short. He'd sit there fuming while Dave played the perfect straight man, confused and defensive and increasingly frustrated. The audience was in on the joke, which made it even funnier. What made their bit work was that neither ever broke character. Grodin maintained his irritated persona through every question. Dave acted genuinely confused about why this guy was so angry. They'd go back and forth, building on each other's reactions until the entire segment became absurdist comedy. Their rhythm together was like jazz improvisation. Grodin would start a complaint. Dave would respond with mock defensiveness. Then they'd build until the whole thing spiraled into chaos. Neither needed preparation. They just understood each other's timing perfectly. Dave said working with Grodin reminded him why he loved comedy in the first place. Pure play, no ego, just two performers trusting each other completely. Number 2, Robin Williams. Robin Williams could reduce Letterman to helpless laughter faster than any other guest. Dave would completely surrender control when Williams appeared, which almost never happened otherwise. A man who needed to be in charge of everything would just give up and let Williams take over. Williams' manic energy was exhausting and exhilarating simultaneously. He would jump from topic to topic, doing voices and characters without warning, moving around the set like he was on espresso and rocket fuel. Dave would try maintaining some structure, then give up and just watch the performance unfold. The audience could see Dave transform from host into delighted spectator. That surrender showed how much he trusted Williams' genius. Dave knew that trying to control Robin Williams was like trying to control a hurricane. You don't direct it, you just experience it and hope you survive. Williams made Dave feel pure joy about comedy when cynicism threatened to take over. After Williams' death, Dave's grief was visible and profound. He spoke about Williams with unusual emotional openness, calling him the most gifted performer he'd ever encountered. Their friendship represented something Dave valued beyond professional respect. Williams brought light into rooms that could get pretty dark. That gift was irreplaceable and deeply personal. Number 1, Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks represented everything Letterman respected in a performer. Massive talent without any ego, huge success without pretension. Genuine kindness without phoniness. Hanks was the complete package in Dave's eyes, and their friendship showed on camera every single time. Their conversations felt like two regular guys talking instead of the host interviewing the superstar. Hanks told stories with casual warmth, whether discussing Oscar wins or childhood memories. Dave never had to pull content from Hanks. It flowed naturally because Hanks understood that good television required generosity and preparation. Hanks would show up ready to play. He'd have stories prepared. He'd engage with whatever Dave threw at him. He made the host job easy, which Dave appreciated enormously after thousands of interviews with people who made it difficult. Off camera, they became real friends. Family dinners happened. Personal conversations occurred beyond show business. That level of intimacy was rare for Dave, who kept professional and personal worlds separate. When Hanks gave tributes to Letterman, the affection and respect were completely reciprocal. Their relationship proved Dave could maintain genuine friendships despite his complicated personality and defensive nature. The real Chet. These guests made Letterman drop his ironic armor and show his real self. Each revealed different sides hidden beneath the comedy. Murray brought out his playful chaos. Martin brought out his intellectual side. Roberts brought out his vulnerability. Regis brought out his affection. Grodin brought out his craft. Williams brought out his joy. Hanks brought out his normalcy. Short brought out his enthusiasm. Leno brought out his history. Newman brought out his awe. That was the test. Could you make Dave forget to be defensive? Could you get through the wall? Could you reach the person behind the persona? Most couldn't. These 7 always could. Drop your thoughts below and subscribe for more late-night stories.